When you come across women like this, just run, leave them be. Let's talk about it.
Men feel like we as women, we are taught to put a lot on men's back, right? So men are really at the space now where they feel like, okay, I want to see what you could do for me, which is nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, your role as a man is to lead. So me as a female, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, but you still got to do what you need to do as a man to lead. You don't need to be crying about what you should be doing. Like if you show me that you can lead, then I'm going to follow. But if you crying to me and then I'm leading and then you mad because I'm leading and now you tight or you feel like your masculinity is minimized, that's not my fault. Because as a man, you're supposed to lead.
So listen, why I say leave women like this alone, because there's a lot of, she's saying a lot of stuff, but not really anything. If we're talking about leadership, we understand that leadership doesn't mean that you're constantly going to be in the foremost prominent position, as in you're always going to be up. We know life is difficult, life is hard. It gets easier when you have a supportive partner in there with you. Easier for you to plan for times when things sort of get rough, times when you may be laid off, times when things get more expensive, emergencies. When you tie leadership into what is that man doing? For me, you're always going to find a woman that's going to just, hey, it's on you. And if you can't do this, I'm going to step up and then I'm going to be masculine. You stepping up does not make you automatically, as a woman, masculine. You taking the leadership role doesn't mean you have to be masculine to lead. In fact, if you actually know how to do it, you're leading from the side or from behind in areas that he's weaker in. This is why the duality actually works. But you want to put it on men and then say, when they fall short, which you will, which you invariably will, because it's life. Things are cyclical. Things happen. Then if you think that somehow means you have to emasculate him, it's a full stop. It's a full stop. Just leave people like this alone. Before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. We'll try to do 2 a day. We got lives coming up. So like the video, share the video. We got some merch in the store. So one of the areas here that, I always have a sort of issue with is when you look at men solely for what they can provide for you, rather than understanding that in order for me to provide for you, one, I have to see your work. I have to see whether or not this makes sense for me to do this with you. 2, and the big issue here, right, which should have been probably number 1, is when men today are asking you, what am I getting for the provision? What am I getting for the protection? And then you somehow think that somehow makes them sassy. It makes them gay. It makes them DL. When they're trying to look at this from a value proposition and saying, we're going to do this business merger. What am I getting for taking on your responsibility and your debts, your troubles and your trials? Let me be the forefront. Let me be the bulwark. Let me be the first line and the last line of defense. Okay. I say in my business can handle that. We can do that. In fact, we can do that easily. Now I want to know what I get. What does my business get for that? How does my business benefit? How do I benefit for taking on this extra liability or taking on what I hope isn't a liability, what I hope is an asset? I'm trying to ascertain, is this an asset? And because I'm asking for what am I going to receive? I'm asking for reciprocity. All of a sudden, there's something wrong with men today. There's something wrong when we say, what do I get for this? You want me to do X, Y, and Z? Cool, fine, I agree. That's my role. What am I getting for them? And then men are sitting there and saying, well, because you lack the accountability to have this conversation, I'm looking and seeing what you're bringing to the table. I.e., not in the same sense. I'm saying, what are you bringing to the negotiation table? Your baggage. You've got kids. You got multiple baby daddies. I'm looking at that and say, liability, 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 liability. It's not to say you don't love your kids. Not to say I can't grow to love your kids, but right now they are strangers to me. Your situation is strange to me. It's mystified. I don't know the situation with your baby daddies. I don't know the volatility there. I don't know the history, but I'm now supposed to cover and protect you, provide for us, our family as a whole. The way it works today in modern dating, it's because the man is not looked at as a head of household. He is signing up to be, depending how many kids you have, number 4, number 5 in the family. He's simply supposed to go die and work, kill himself in order to bring home the bacon. And then while he's back home, also now be subject to whatever thing that you're upset about. He failed to do this. Okay, now we have this discussion. He's not helping out enough because he's working too much. Okay, he pulls back from work. Now you don't have enough. Now you don't have enough for your kids versus maybe he has his kids now. Or you guys have the kids together. Well, you're treating this one not like this one. Or the baby dad is still coming around and he still has sway in your own house. You can't discipline the kids that way. Or if you overinvest in the kid, you don't get the return on investment. When they get older, when it's time for them to graduate, when it's time to get them married, they're looking to say, I want my bio dad. I want my real dad. You're not my real dad. So men are saying out the outset, what is in this for me? And just like, what do you bring to the table? Women as a whole, I don't want to do that. Women today online are saying they don't have an answer for that. So what do we do when we don't have an answer to that? We get back into the shaming. We get back into the guilt tripping. We get back into the assaulting. Rather than addressing the truth and saying, yeah, you know what? I don't have a good answer. I haven't looked at myself or women in a whole, in a general sense, to say, well, what is it that we're bringing for a man? And we discussed the answer on this channel already, right? We said that when women they spend all their brain power saying, how can I find a quip? How can I find a retort? How can I have something preloaded when someone says, what do you bring to the table? Oh, what is it that you're lacking that you need me to bring? Femininity. Femininity, we solved that, right? We solved that videos ago, months ago. Very simple. Whatever I do, whatever I produce in my life, I cannot produce that for myself. I can get a cook, I can get a cleaner, right? I can get anyone to do any of the soft tasks that you think are, basically regulated to women. In fact, I can do those myself, and to a high degree of profession. I don't need to outsource this. I can cook, I can clean. I'm not, filthy by nature. I can take all these things, and then when I want something done professionally, I can hire this out once or twice a month. No problem. But I can't outsource femininity. That has to come from the relationship. That has to come from an actual woman, an actual partner. That level of intimacy I can't buy. Even when you go and try to purchase that, it's going to be fake. There's part of you, there's part of her that understands this is a complete transaction. I can't buy that. I can't fake that. No, that's what you bring. Full stop. That's the answer. Right? We should have a whole crusade in spreading this across the internet. That's the answer. Ladies, that's the answer. You don't have to do more than that. You don't have to have anything else preloaded. I bring femininity, but do you? This is now the question. Do you? Just like this woman at the beginning of this video. When you watch the mannerisms, you watch the way they talk, you watch the aggressiveness, you watch the dialect, the tone, you say, okay, this is not what I want to deal with. If I'm simply saying, what do I get from my transaction with you? What do I get from being with you? And your answer is now about leadership, about you failing to do this, about you lacking this, no. You leave those people, and again, we like to detach with love. You say, cool, I understand what you're going through, or I understand this is not really a great fit for us. I'm gonna go my way. I'm gonna wish you all the best. I hope you find exactly what you're looking for, but it's not. And we should just, as men, get used to standing on that. If I cannot get the femininity part of you first and foremost, if that's not who you are, and it's not something I got to bring out of you, that's who you are, or it's not. That's it. We like the same ridiculous sort of rejoinder when you say, well, I'm waiting for a real woman to come into my life so she can bring out the masculine man in me. It sounds stupid. It sounds heinous. It sounds pitiful. You look at that, you say the same thing. But listen, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos, of course. And if you listen to sound my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. I'm just trying to build something dope. See you in the next one.